We're let's see. Hopefully the sound's good. I'm in the car. I should have readjusted this. Here, getting up close and personal with you guys. Stay tuned for that. You know how people vlog in their cars and stuff. Anyway, there. We're going cruising. All right. We still got the cigar, and today I do have like a specific topic. You know, sometimes there's a topic, sometimes there's not, but there is a topic today, and the topic of today will be knowing your desire, and that's something to me I've never really struggled with, but there are times where I have struggled with it, and it is very common in clients that I have that they know a desire or they think they know what they want, but they're not like they don't have a strong conviction that that's what they want. They're like, oh, I could be open to something more or something better, or maybe this is what I want, maybe it's not what I want. Like they'll come in with like an SP journey, right? But really they'll have multiple desires, and you can manifest multiple desires at once. However, it's harder because you're not picking a set target. You're If you're still learning manifesting, I would say start with like something small to kind of build your confidence. But really, knowing exactly what you want, because it's the law of assumption. So we have to assume exactly what we want. We're going to live right from the end of having that one particular thing that we have or that we want. And the point is to be precise, because in a way, manifesting at times feels like you're talking to a genie, because it will give you, God and the universe give you exactly whatever you want. And that's the thing. You are always going to get it. Sometimes people are like, well, why did it turn out like this? What did you ask for? Did you specify that part? That's why it's important to be detailed. Like, I like doing like when I say script something out of thin air. I've done it, and then sometimes now you got to go back and make revisions to it. It's like, good, we hit a close mark. And if you're not able to manifest because maybe there's too many things going on in your head at once, like you're just getting berated with like you're inundating yourself with so many little things. Like if you're trying to manifest a person out of thin air, right? You're you're sitting there and you're just like hammering it in. It's like, well, they gotta look like this and they gotta look like that, and then you're like hanging yourself up on one detail, and you've got this 2-page thing about who the perfect person is. I'm saying it's cool to start out very general. This color hair, this type of body, this type of personality. Like my list when I've done specific people, not specific people, but people out of thin air or a specific type of person, there's always less than a page. And it's, you guys seen the notebook I use, it's a small notebook. So that's what I use. And then it's like, okay, if there's issues with it, if it's worth it to you, then you could change it from there, if that makes sense. And it's just mainly knowing what's important to you. I feel like a lot of people might be lost, so they're taking what feels good at the moment. For instance, an SP feels good at the moment because maybe you haven't set some goals for yourself, or you don't know what else you want in life, or you're kind of confused by what you want in life. So it's like, okay, here's this thing. And there's nothing wrong with that, because the SP often leads you on a journey to discover who you are spiritually and understand manifesting, and it like becomes something that you use in all aspects of your life. So it's good for a spiritual awakening. And I like the cigar now. If anyone has any questions, let me know. These are really stale from Walgreens, but we'll do what we must. It fell apart as soon as it came out. Yeah, I hope you guys are understanding that point, because I don't have an ashtray. The point I wanted to make was that so often we're just latching onto something or going after something because it seems to make sense at the moment. What's up, H? How you doing, brother? We're jumping to something that we think we want, and it's nothing. Sometimes it's not what we truly want. It's not our true heart's desire. Hold on, I'll skip that for now, and I'm just gonna drink my coffee. I'm doing it out in the car. I love you too, brother. Glad to see you here. It's been a long morning. It was casino night. I got knocked out yesterday in a fight, or in a fight or 3D circumstances, or just super tired and knocked out. Well, that sucks, but hey, when you get knocked down, you get back up again, and next time you'll get them. I was actually just telling the story about that the other day when I got my nose busted the only time. Kick to the liver, oh shit. Yeah, that'll bring you down. I was telling a story about maybe 2 years ago now. I started doing some kickboxing stuff, and the 16-year-old kid who's been doing it for years, and I was probably 24, 25, 24 probably. And he fucking cracked my nose. Like, I've done like fighting sports and stuff since I was young, but nothing like, I mean, I did football, wrestling, and like, I was never like so into it, but this fucking 16-year-old kid broke my nose, and I knew it when he did it. And I just keep fighting, and like, he had like all the form, and I'm just trying to muscle it, and then he just keeps punching and punching. I see blood falling, and it's on his gloves. He goes, "Oh, you're bleeding." I'm like, I didn't hear no bell. And then eventually they had to stop it because they're like, "Oh, he's just bleeding everywhere." Man, every body part is doing okay. Don't drink. I don't know what the last part means, don't drink. Tough, oh yeah. I know that one. I was doing really good with the diet for a while, and then, you know, wasn't working so well. Let's see. Could have been cheating a little bit. But anyway, if you guys got any manifesting questions, I just saw it's like all the viewers, like this thing is not accurate on the viewers. So if people are here, let me know. If you're not here, don't let me know. Trying to find something I could finish into. But I think that's a big lesson too, and not just manifesting, but life in general would be like the topic of this video. That it's like the #1 step I posted in that Manifest Your SP course thing I made. But at the same time, it's not just SP, it's manifesting anything. Manifesting anything, you have to know an exact desire first. #2 would be like just in life in general, like knowing exactly what you want and going for it. Arnold Schwarzenegger once said that you can have the best ship in the world, but without a captain, you can't sail it anywhere. The captain is your desire. Your monologues were awesome last month. Oh yeah, we've been talking about going live again. She's just been so busy. She's blowing up on TikTok, and that's actually one of her manifestations. She was very focused on building up an audience, and the best part was, like, it was no effort. She was just making videos, not paying attention to the viewers, and then one day she turned around right when she was almost able to go live, and then I think that was one of her first lives that she did was with me, and it was cool. We did like a manifesting one, so those were some good times. A lot more to come. I could ash into there. I just cleaned the car too from all my junk. Yeah, it's a sign. Don't smoke. I want SP back as a total submissive woman. I also want to manifest a more forgiving myself. Well, that's one of the things too, is like, this is another topic I wanted to get into, and I think I need to make a video on it, because it's something I'm guilty of too, and I think everybody in this community is guilty of. So if we're living a manifesting lifestyle, right? We're manifesting the life of our dreams. We're doing it through the law of assumption. Law of assumption means creation is finished, means everything is done, means all opportunities already exist. I don't know why this car's sitting behind me. It means we're already living in the end. So if everything exists now, everything's in the here and now, we're just selecting a different reality to live in and assuming it to be true, and to the degree that we are self-persuaded it will become true, just like Neville says. Problem is, a lot of it's like, I'm on my SP journey. I don't like that term, but I've said it and I've done it. It's like, oh, I'm currently manifesting this. You're not manifesting anything. We're always manifesting, but it's just shifting in and out of different realities or different life tracks. So it's like, instead of just sitting around saying, like, oh, I'm manifesting this, or I'm working on getting that. There is no work to be done because if creation is finished, you're just going into you're just going into the current life track you want. And I think that speeds up the manifestation, or at least it has for me in the past, feeling like it, where it's like I said, I was dating SP. We were broken up, third party, all this stuff, all those circumstances. And we had like all those crazy circumstances, but when I was dating her in my mind and feeling it done, within 2 weeks it comes into fruition. And that's the thing, there is a time lag. It doesn't have to be, but most often through my own discoveries of this, there is a time lag that it will take, and it's usually within 2 weeks. That's why I've done, what do you call it? I hope they're not going to mow the lawn through here. That's why in my own journey with stuff, I've learned, made a cameo. Lost my train of thought. But in my journey on this, sorry, I'm fucking distracted. There's a million things going on over here. I was on my way back to my place, and I'm like, you know what, fuck it, let me just film it, because it's getting late in the day. I'm trying to keep the Monday morning live instead of go to Monday night or have to have a surprise live. But let me try to regain my focus. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the law of assumption. So whatever we assume to be true is true. If all creation is finished, we're just shifting into that life track, and we're living in the end of our desire. So for instance, you want SP back, you're dating SP, and every day in your mind, you're imagining the best situation. You're feeling what it would feel like if they text you early in the morning, but you might have to deal with it for a prolonged period of time. You know how many times I sat there and I would have on my my phone, I'd wake up, this was a horrible idea, but there's no mistakes. But you wake up and there's no message on your phone, but you have to wake up and don't even look at your phone, go through your gratitude list, say you're grateful for being with SP. You're like, man, I'm so happy everything's working out in my favor. You picture what the text message looks like from her, though. Like, I've gotten to the state where it's like, I've woken up and like she'll send me a different message, and I've gone through that. I'm like, wait, what? I was so sure, because like I've responded to the message and we had a full conversation in my mind. That's how powerful you are when you're in that drowsy, sleepy state. That's why SATs is important. That's why before bed and right when you wake up are the most important times to manifest, because your mind is susceptible to pick all that stuff up. I have been pedestalized by 2 other women, but only SP I desire. I can't get hard thinking about another girl. It's funny you say that, because I've been in that same spot before, still a little bit. And like, as you know from the channel, it's like I kind of always keep you guys updated with my own personal journey of what I've learned and what like how the things that I teach, when I follow them, pay off. How when I break the rules because I'm impatient, how they fail. How when I'm trying to go out and experience new things about life and see how I feel about it, to see how you can manifest through certain situations, I go out and do that. So the same situation you're in, I've been there too, but I had to go out and try to do something different to see where my true desire is. And that kind of ties back into the topic of this video. You know, I've been with a couple other chicks now, and it's like, okay, I still have to picture SP to finish. I still think about SP, but I know bad stuff happened. Do I still want SP? And it's like, it took me knowing now my exact desire, but realizing what makes me happy too. It's like, can you live with this? At the moment, it's like, I still want to be alone and single and stuff like that, but I know that when a time for a relationship arises, there's no circumstances that will stand in my way to have SP again. I mean, I was even with SP the other day, so you know, your desires do come to you, and things will be revealed in the most perfect, normal, natural way, but it is knowing that desire. Because it's funny, like, sometimes you don't have the desire for a certain thing. You just think about somebody, right? It's thought transmission. You think about someone who you haven't seen in a long time. Next thing you know, they send you a text message, but you had no idea what to talk to them about. You just remembered something from your past with that person, or you thought of them. It makes them think of you. What you desire desires you. They send you a message, right? So there's no resistance to that. There's no anything, like, it's not, you're just surprised and happy to get the message from them, because there's no desire towards it. But if you wanted them to say a certain thing, you'd be visualizing, oh, I would love to talk to this person about this and this and this, and then that would play out, and you'd get that message from that person about this and this and this, right? Like I do know there's a story Elmer talks about on his channel where he mentions about Neville was able to do the phone call on design, like on the spot. Like he told the audience, this person's going to call and they're going to call about this, and we're going to talk about this, blah blah blah. And in front of them, Neville would have a phone, and then we'd get the call right there. But he knew exactly what he wanted. How to stop wavering and quit the ego mind. My mind is having so many scary thoughts from the old story while manifesting my new story. All right, let's touch on that real quick. How to stop wavering and worrying about your ego mind. Well, we'll first talk about this. Your ego mind is designed to protect you from harm. And it's based and rooted in a lot of fear and insecurities. But don't be mad, don't be stressed if you are struggling with it, because there's a reason you have that. Forgive your ego and forgive that part of yourself for feeling that way, because it's only trying to do its job to protect you. And don't stress over it too much. Fears manifest, but so do positive thoughts. So you want to stick in the positive thoughts more often. So it's going to be very hard at first when you're manifesting something, because your mind is designed to think a certain way. It's sort of ego driven, protect you, this and that. So you're all the way like in protection mode, and it's good that you're being protected, but it's realistic. And what you want to do is forgive that part of yourself for thinking negative thoughts, because it is just trying to do its job. Forgive that person for whatever situation has happened. And currently, I don't know your circumstances, and I don't know if you want to discuss them on live, but from what I understand from my own personal journey, when your ego is driving you and it is making it hard to manifest, it's because you're afraid that you're going to get hurt again. You're expecting in some way that things are going to get worse. You're expecting that things are going to be worse than they are now if you let go, if you detach, and if you start living in the end. Really, it's like when Neville was in the army and he was locked out of leaving. He was denied. Okay, you got denied by the government. Like, how there's no other way you could turn. Like, in a sense, he was in a prison. And I agree with that with the SP journey. You are in a metaphorical prison where there is nothing you can do because you have been shut out. All you have is your mind. So in your mind, you need to write down or really think about clearly, what do you want with this person? Like I said, the topic of this video is knowing exactly what you want. So many people are like, I want my SP. Okay, you want your SP. What do you want your SP to act like? What do you want to talk about with them every day? What do you want to experience with them? Get so fucking clear. There's no wavering or anything, so you know exactly what you want. When you're thinking about SP and you're struggling, go right to a good memory with them. And if it's an ex, go right to a good memory or a good thought with them. Honestly, at this point, if you're not with them, if there's a third party, if there's negative circumstances, what worst thing can happen? If shit has hit the fan and the worst thing that could possibly happen has happened, and you still desire this person, what's going to stop you? The only thing stopping or limiting you is you. You're telling yourself this is hard to manifest. And again, like if you weren't here a little while ago, I mentioned everybody's manifesting or on a manifesting journey or an SP journey. Journey means prolonged experience, means traveling to get somewhere, to get something that you don't have. When we are mystics of the law of assumption, we know what we want, we decide we have it, and we experience it in our mind. Right now, if the 3D world shuts you out, your imagination is your best friend. Your imagination is the place where you can literally be, do, and have anything you want right now. Because think about it, what are you doing all day? If you're stuck in a negative, ego-driven story and stuck in the negative past, what are you doing? You are imagining that all day. You are energizing that. You are giving that power, but you are not giving your desired reality the power. So instead, you're stuck here in the past. You're stuck in fear. You're bringing that to the present. The only way it exists is if you let it exist and you acknowledge it and you choose for it to exist. The only way the good stuff exists is if you choose it exists, if you desire it and you bring it now into the reality. Like they say, the now moment is the most popular or most important. it is the most important moment, because in the now is when you decide and when you feel and when you experience the things you want to experience in reality. So I hope that helped. Kind of rambled, but it's been 1 year, no contact. Wonder what I'm doing wrong. So again, like I said, there is a time delay, but I don't believe in like the whole 1 year thing. Like it could take that long, but maybe it's because you're still trying to learn something and you still are thinking that I am, in your mind, you're like, part of you is still stuck in like, I'm manifesting this person. What am I doing wrong? To, I mean, even right there, you said it too. What am I doing wrong? You're questioning yourself. You're, I'm doing sats, I'm doing this, or I'm scripting, or I'm doing this to get SP. And then you take your phone. God damn it, fuck! All right, trust me, I've been there. It's like, all right, back to sats. Like, you know, like it's everything. Like the whole teaching of this stuff, it sounds insane, it sounds crazy, but I wouldn't be teaching it if I wasn't there before and I haven't experienced these things. So if you're doing techniques and you're doing manifesting and you're blowing yourself up with videos and you're just all day manifesting content because I need to do this to get this thing. If you're doing this to get this thing, you will always be doing this to get that thing, because that's the state you live in. You're living in the state of doing something to get something. So there must always be something unobtainable, so you could be doing something to get that thing. Because if you do this to get that thing and you get that thing, then you're not in the right state. You're no longer in the chasing state. If you do this and then you get this, now you're in the having state. You just want to say, I'm here, I want this, okay, I have it. You've attracted it in. And it sounds dumb, but if what you've been doing so far is not working, assuming that you don't have it, or assuming you have to do this or that to get it, then maybe try and change it up. If this is an engineering thing I learned, and a good friend of mine who taught me a lot about what I know in my day job field once told me, if you've been doing something, if you've been trying something for an hour, like we fix things. So it's like, if you've been trying to fix things in a certain way for an hour and nothing has changed and you can't figure it out, why not try to change your approach? And the point was, like, I can't remember, it was something plumbing related, but I was trying to like fit two things together and like they weren't working, and I'm like, no, this is how it's supposed to go. In my mind, this is how it's supposed to go. He came up, flip things around, and goes, change the way you're looking at things. It goes right into manifesting too. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So what is so wrong, what is so scary about assuming that you and SP are dating in your mind now? You don't want to feel delusional, but it beats the fuck out of feeling like fucking garbage, because it's like, I just want them to come back. I'm alone. The reason for doing all these other things like the gym and your hobbies and stuff like that is not to do those things to get SP back. It's to keep your mind distracted, to elevate yourself and boost your self-confidence. Those are the reasons you're doing those things. They have nothing to do with SP. Those things are for you. When you want to have SP and you think about SP, oh, I've got SP, yeah, if I send her a message, she's going to respond. If I send him a message, he's going to respond. Whatever it is, if you send them a message, they're going to respond. And what would they say if I said this? What is the ideal version of them say that, you know, what does their ideal version say? And you could do that. And I want to talk about somebody else too. When you brought up the 1 year thing too, I worked with a client, and I'm keeping everybody anonymous. His story is still unfolding, but compared to where he was, like the time limit was crazy. Like we had a couple sessions, I think it was in probably 2 weeks, but he was manifesting, I want to say 1.5 years. Like I said, he was manifesting. And one of the things about coaching is, whether it's not just me, it's anyone, whatever person you put your faith in, and it's not just coaching too, it's like buying a program or watching somebody's video and thinking this is going to be the breakthrough or whatever. If you believe that that's the breakthrough, it's going to be the breakthrough. For him, he was very like hard-headed on this stuff. Like, are you sure? Like, and what if I do this? If I do this and she does this, what should I do? I don't answer questions like that, because I don't tell you what little things to do. It's your heart's desire and what feels natural to me. What makes sense to me might not make sense to you, but the principles all make the same sense. So he went from over 1.5 years, no contact, no anything, to within, let's say maybe 3 weeks for him, 2-3 weeks, running into SP in the street, contact, and then like things progressing where now they talk, and she seems like a different version of him, because it is a different version, because he shifted the reality. Now then the hot and cold comes in, because not for him, but I'm saying at this point, um, for me personally, in that experience, there will be wavering and hot and cold because mentally I'm wavering and hot and cold because it feels so fucking weird and unnatural because you've been in that no contact situation for so long that okay, this person's back. Are they going to leave me again? Now your fear and your ego's coming in and it's fishtailing your mind, and you want to just stay in that assumption that things are working out. SP shows up in my dreams. What does that mean? All right, let me address that. I've talked about dreams before. In my experience, SP showing up in your dreams could appear one of two ways. First of all, it is because you are spending so much time thinking about this person, consciously manifesting them, doing your visions, and they're there. So it's popping up in your subconscious. If they're just showing up there and there's no anything, you take it as what it means. Like you take the meaning as positive. That's what I do. SP shows up in my dream, but there's no rhyme or reason. Like I just see her face, like whatever. There's a whole crazy dream thing happening. SP shows up. Okay, I wake up. I dreamed about SP because she's dreaming about me, or I thought about SP so she wants to be with me. And it's just I take it as a positive sign. You have a good dream where things are like back to normal with you. Take that as your subconscious is impressed. You have a nightmare about it. You take that as like, wow, my subconscious mind is really trying to fight me now because it knows the inevitable is coming, and I've just blown through all of the barriers that life has set through for me, and my subconscious tried to block me one last time. I've blown through it. Because there would be times where I would have a series of nightmares about like third parties, things not working out and stuff like that. But I would just either one, ignore it, don't give it power, or two, just steamroll through and say that's the last barrier that is standing in front of me before I get my desire. So the dreams ultimately mean everything or nothing. Everything in the world, it's going to sound crazy and bad and stupid at the same time, but if everything has no meaning, that's a good thing because you assign it the meaning. And this is the lesson I've been talking about for a while too. You assign everything the meaning. If you, like, you could easily just as much assign the meaning that having a dream about SP means they're so far off, I only have them in my dreams. Or you could assign the meaning that, hey, this means my manifestation is here now. I am experiencing it now. So you choose at the end of the day. I will always tell you to look at it the most positive, beautiful, loving way, because that's what I learned I had to do, not try to figure it out. Like, what does this dream mean? No, don't figure it out. Just know it's a good sign and sign you're on the right track. You decide what everything means. You probably shouldn't focus on time or look at 3D. Just live in your mind as if it's reality. Exactly, yes. So go right to the end, living in reality, your desired reality. Because the more you focus on time, the more you focus on lack, the more you focus on not having it, you're creating this whole, like, I guess, runner-chaser dynamic, the pedestal, the thing to be chased, the thing to be manifested. But it sounds like I'm saying too, like a lot of you guys in here, it sounds like you know your desires. But the point of this is to be very specific on what you want. Like everyone's like, I want my SP back. Now I've done that too, like especially when I was starting. I want my SP back. SP comes back exactly the same as when they left, and it makes it very hard for you to sustain things because there's still that negative aspect to them. You weren't specific that I want a different version that acts like this, that treats me like this, or they'll show up with signs of that at first and then waver back to the other stuff because some part of your subconscious is doubting it and still shifting you in and out of like the parallel realities of like, okay, maybe I'm I'm experiencing the good version, but why is this negative version here? That's the hot and cold behavior. That's where you double down on the good version. When you see the bad, you don't acknowledge it, you don't pay attention to it. Obviously, with setting boundaries, do not let somebody physically harm you, do not let somebody emotionally harm you, and set your boundaries, because guess what? You can't fuck this up. If you're uncomfortable with something and you say it and you set down that boundary and then they stop and then maybe there's no contact for a while, fuck them. Like, that's it, because that's not what the version you want anyway. Are you that desperate? A creator, a mystic, a fucking person who could do whatever they want, God incarnated on earth. Are you that desperate that you're gonna let somebody fucking kick your teeth in and treat you like garbage and make you feel like you're worthless and they have all this power over you? No. You'd rather lose them than wind up with somebody like that. And I know how it is because I've talked about setting boundaries and I've been walked all over at the same time. I've let myself get walked all over, but at the same time, I also had to go back and set boundaries, and sometimes those boundaries result in like a loss of the SP for a period of time. But it's like, would you rather have something that treats you bad and is not exactly what you wanted, or get exactly what you wanted? Sometimes it's like you order something online and it's a defective product. Are you going to just sit there and be like, it's fine? I mean, it doesn't do anything it's supposed to do, but I just don't want to return it because that requires some work, and I'd be afraid because then I don't have this item anymore. No, send the motherfucker back. All right. What are your thoughts on Sammy Ingram robotic affirming method? I've heard a lot of success stories from her clients and subscribers, but not many people are against her method. But so many people are against her method because it implies lack. Okay, I get that. I will address this. First of all, I am currently playing with the robotic affirming because if you know the channel, if you know the channel, Inked got a lot of success with robotic affirming, and Civen got a lot of success with it too. Whatever you believe works for you. What's up? But also, what's up, brother? How you doing? Glad to see you. Whatever method you believe works. It's like working out, right? Like some people like CrossFit, some people like bodybuilding, some people like cardio. Like everybody likes something different, and it makes you could have two guys with the same type of body, but one works out this way and one works out this way, but they have the same result, right? So that's the way I look at it. I personally like visualizing because it's easy for me. It reminds me of like movie writing. Sometimes I'll script here and there because it's like movie writing. Those are things that feel normal and natural to me. I was never a fan really of the affirmations, but I've used them here and there before. Now I'm really working on robotic affirming because like I said, I have an interest in the law. I'm vested in it. If I'm going to coach people, I need to know all the methods. So I'm currently doing robotic affirming for something now, and I'll tell you guys about it when it comes through. And I've even started doing the subliminals that I created for myself, just to experience those and let you guys know what happens when you go through those things and you're trying to manifest something in those states. But robotic affirming does work because, yes, I've watched those videos with Sammy too. People have sent them to me and said, check them out. I've watched them. I think they're great. I think that it's the same thing. Like Neville talks about, we'll go here. Neville talks about vain repetition of something that's not true, right? So you're just repeating something, and it does help. It does make you feel like you're in lack. That's where Neville's point came from. But that's when you're just sitting around too going like, I guess that kind of falls into the robotic affirming too a little bit. Let me think. 1 second. Here's why it comes down to, because everyone has their own points on it. Like Neville did talk about affirmations, but there is some things where sometimes it feels like a contradiction in there. And a lot of stuff in this community does feel like contradictions at times. And I'm trying to find a way to word it the right way. People have success with robotic affirming because they believe it's going to work. People have success with visualizing because they believe it's going to work. People get no success in certain areas because they don't truly believe in the process. And the whole point of it is, Sammy's method works if you believe it works. My methods work if you believe they work. It's whatever is going to make it easy for you to impress your subconscious mind. At the end of the day, you want to impress your subconscious mind. I was never big on the affirmation thing because to me it felt like I was lying to myself. If affirmations make you feel like you're lying to yourself, then maybe don't do them. Maybe stick to visualizing. If you can't visualize, then maybe go to scripting. Because I forgot the one girl's name, but there's a really popular YouTuber who teaches manifesting, and she's like a scripting like lady like this. She always talks about scripting, and then like, you know, Sammy's always with affirmations. I like visualizing. Elmer is like a visualizing guy. Everybody has a method that works for them and that they like. You have to find which one works for you, and sometimes it might require some experimenting, or you might just have a good vibe or feel what it likes. I feel like it does help build neural pathways, and the old ones eventually fade away. Yeah, and then that's where the argument comes in for it too, because you're just, anything told to yourself enough times. You ever get a song stuck in your head? Like, just stuck in your head for a day or a week or so like that, because it was just, and you've listened to it a bunch of times or whatever, so it's just like being stuck in your head. And the same thing, like you might hear that song in your dreams even. That's when I was doing affirmations before, like during my balls to the wall, when I was going like balls to the wall with all this shit, my affirmations play in my sleep automatically. That's why I never did a sleep track. And right now, like recently, I've kind of like fallen off on my affirmations and stuff like that, because I always had a few set ones. Whenever I was feeling down, I would just throw them at myself. or jump to an end scene. And I've started trying to do I made myself a sleep track, and I will listen to it as I fall asleep because I want to test that method now. So that's personally where I'm coming from. I thought about robotic affirming. It can get faster for success to the subconscious because it's less resistance. If we watch TV or get bombarded with ads, that's all it is, bro. That is also robotic affirming. That's why those ads work, and they make them catchy and they just stick to you. That's why you pick a short, simple thing for your affirmations. That way we go buy some stuff that we don't need without knowing, because the subconscious is constantly constant messages made us do it. Yeah, and it's like, it reminds me of the Reverend Ike thing, because Reverend Ike was around before social media, and he would talk about when you get headaches. He goes, you didn't really get that headache today. You caught that headache months ago while your TV was playing at the middle of the night and a commercial came on, and he goes, and it wasn't just any headache you got an Excedrin headache. And I always thought about that statement he made, because yeah, leaving the TV, I don't sleep with the TV on anymore. I used to as a kid all the time. I don't, since I really got in the manifesting path, I don't sleep with a TV on. I sleep and I don't sleep with lights on or nothing. I sleep in the pitch black with no sound or anything, so it's just me and my imagination. And it can be scary at first. A lot of people will sleep with TV, I think, because it's like a comforting thing, because they're afraid to deal with their own thoughts. But you have to go in there and do battle with them at times, and then get used to it, get comfortable being in that darkness and in that meditative state and choosing what you want to hear. Because if you're not programming your mind, somebody else is. The mind is always looking to be programmed. It's your job to make sure you're the one programming it. Akshay is a SATS coach. His new meditation is great. I do love Akshay. I haven't watched his channel in a while. It's like I said, I still watch other coaches. I'll pop on and see, just because I like to watch the coaches and see their thoughts on certain things, and I like their personalities. So Akshay is actually one of the first coaches I used to watch when I started just learning this stuff, but I haven't watched any of his videos in a while. Visualization and inner conversation are so amazing too. It helps me feel it real. Yeah, and inner conversation is another good one. I used to use that one a lot too. It helps you feel like you're still there with the person when you might not be with them. So you just sit there and you have that conversation, and it feels real, and it's like, I want to text them. Well, what do I want to text them? This. What do I want them to say? It'd be really nice if they say this. Then that's what they said. I would prefer this. I would prefer that. And then like you're going back and forth in that conversation, and you get lost in it, and it becomes a visualization. Same thing with scripting at times too. You're scripting out something, and it becomes a visualization. It's almost like when you're reading a book, you kind of begin to see the pictures if it's very vividly described, and you get lost in it. But I do love my visualizations. I was gonna smoke today, but I don't have an ashtray in this car, so that's out. I did some inner conversations, and here my girl's saying all the things I'm affirming, like as if I'm the one because if I'm the one, she's manifesting me. Exactly, bro. That's where that thing comes from. Whatever you desire desires you. It's because it gets into like that circle thing. It's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? You have this desire to manifest them, then it becomes natural for them to want to message you, and then the message comes up. Or they start having subconscious thoughts where maybe they don't even realize it, but then things lead them back to you. So that's where everyone is you pushed out. They're connected with you. So whatever you have this desire, like Neville says, whether it takes one man or a million men to play their part, it will bring them back to you, or to you if you've never had them before, because it will just feel right when they're around you. In the beginning of your journey, were you trying all kinds of techniques? Which one was your favorite that brought about your manifestation? So I did try everything in the beginning. I was just experimenting with it because, like I said, I knew law of attraction when I was like 16. I knew law of assumption when I was like 22 maybe. I didn't really start like applying this stuff until I met SP, and I was trying all different things. I'm trying to remember the very first time I manifested her. I think it was a lot of affirming, and then just feeling in the end, because I had no attachment to her in the beginning. Like I wasn't in love or anything like that. So I was just feeling it in the end, and that was probably the easiest time because it happened the fastest at that point. It was a very natural thing. We ran into each other at the gym. I was blocked, and everything just kind of went normal and natural because there was no resistance. I didn't need to. The techniques are not what manifest. The feeling and the naturalness is what manifests. The techniques only get you to feel natural about what you want. And I would feel natural like the first 2 times because I still hadn't fallen for her at that time. So I was just jumping into the state of like, of course she wants me. I don't know what the fuck's up with her. And I wasn't thinking about being blocked. It didn't matter to me, any of this stuff. But then once I start catching feelings, now you're vested. And like in Star Wars, the Jedi, your attachment leads to the dark side. Yeah, the attachment is the hard part because now you have this illusionary thing that holds you to them, and everything is now life and death. It's critical. It's this huge important thing, and that makes it harder to manifest. So I can't say which method worked for me, because if I tell you what worked for me, because I've done all of them with SP, with money, with jobs, with everything. I've tried every different thing, and if it's something that felt really hard, that's when I say go balls to the wall, as I say. That's one of the things I did was every technique. Did every technique. So I was doing before sleep visualization and falling asleep and the wish fulfilled, waking up grateful for the wish fulfilled, doing gratitude all throughout the day. When I had downtime before bed, I was scripting. When I was lonely during the middle of the day, I was texting her in my mind and having an inner conversation with her. I was hitting affirmations when I was worried about like something in particular, like she loves me, she only loves me, blah, blah, blah. I'm hitting all these different things at all different points. So I can't say which technique did it. And to that same point, the technique does not manifest. It's the feeling. All of those things combined, because it felt impossible to me at the one point, that I had to smash my mind with all different ways, not caring which one delivered the desire. But that's where I learned that none of them delivered the desire. I delivered it to myself because I made it feel natural. Those tools helped me feel it natural. I sent you some crazy messages. Crazy shit went down. I think I did see that you sent me messages, but I was out yesterday. I opened it, and if it's 2 or 3 audio messages, then yeah, I didn't get a chance to listen to them because I was out with someone. Man, I have been fantasizing about SP a lot. Then when you're fantasizing, fantasize like as if it is a fulfilled fact, a desire. Feeling versus imagination. Feeling wins hands down. Exactly. Feeling is the secret. Neville has a whole book called Feeling is the Secret. And when you're fantasizing about SP, fantasize as if it's happening now and it's already a fulfilled fact. Everything is good. You have your desire. Not fantasizing about like, this would be wonderful. I miss her so much, man. Because there's 2 different ways to do it. You're thinking of the end versus thinking from the end. I'm not saying you are right now, but there's 2 different ways to do it. You could be thinking of the end, which is like, that would be nice. I would really like that. Or you could be thinking from the end where that scene pops up and now you're in it. You put yourself first person in there and do it. Ho'oponopono meditation helps your forgiveness of yourself and your SP and releases resentment and anger for what you created. It does. Yeah, I learned that from Robert Zink years ago. When I don't even think I was manifesting this SP. I think it was a different one. And that one was like one of the first ones when I was just kind of learning about all this. But I did always like Ho'oponopono, whatever it is. I did always like that one. I will still do it sometimes, and not just with SP, but just like people in my life. You have an argument with a friend or a family member or something like that. You go back and you forgive yourself and forgive them, and I do go back, like not being a super religious person, but like Neville says, the Bible is like the greatest metaphysical book there is, because it does teach. Like I went back and actually started like reading in the Bible, and like the first paragraph, the word manifestation is used. The version of there's multiple versions, but the version I was reading the other day, the first paragraph of it, the fucking word manifestation is in there. And like the stuff it's describing is like tools and thought processes of manifestation. But in the Bible, they was it when Jesus is getting murdered, he says, "Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do." And then if you trace it back, like he knows in the garden that he, like a few days before, he's going to get killed, and he's scared about it, and he keeps thinking it's coming, and then it comes, and then when he does get killed, I'm kind of taking things like jumping them around. Maybe like it's not like I'm not using it as a chronological story or religious text. I'm just saying like you go to any movie, film, or like any movie, short story, novel, whatever, and even stories you hear in real life about people, you could see the beginning and the end. You see where their fear starts, and then something plays out, and it leads you down the hero's journey, all that good shit. So with the Bible, yeah, like I said, he's scared he's gonna get killed. He's getting killed, and then he says, "Forgive them, they know not what they do." In a way, you can interpret that, and that's the way at least I do. He feared it was gonna happen. Forgive them because they don't know what to do. They're just playing out the desire, not the desire, but like the fear that was in my mind. Just like our SPs, if it played out fears we've had in our mind, that's why we got to forgive them, if you want it. Good morning, Eric. How you doing, brother? Thanks for stopping in. It helps you reconcile with everyone in your life. It does. Like there were a lot of people I held resentment for over the years, and I've been going back and using either Ho'oponopono or just that thing, forgive them, they know not what they do, and just reconciling. Because it's like, what does it help me to have resentment for anyone? It doesn't. My dad used to say this, and I think it's a cliche. I don't think it's an original thing, but it was something he always told me. But it was like, wanting revenge or wishing ill on somebody else or holding anger and resentment towards somebody else is like drinking poison hoping that they get sick. And that's why you shouldn't hold on to any resentment. Love everybody, because if everyone is you pushed out, then they're all just an aspect of you. And I like Reverend Ike's saying, where he goes, "You meet nobody but you in life." And he goes, if someone's treating you bad, you say, "Man, what did I do to myself to make me treat myself like that?" And he goes, "You'll see the world a whole lot different." And I began doing that a while back before I even started listening to Reverend Ike, actually. And it is kind of crazy, but when you hear him deliver it like that, it kind of like hits you. It's like, damn, Dad, you are meeting no one but you. Sorry, I zoned out for a second. We'll go for another 3 minutes, maybe another 13, depending on how many questions we got coming in. Let's see, we actually hit like a good stride today. We got a good amount of everyone else. Everything is a reflection of ourselves. Exactly, yeah. It's not just everyone, it's everything. And I do like listening to Bashar a lot, and Bashar talks about synchronicities, like everything happens in perfect synchronicity, and sometimes the bad things that we're going through, we have to go through because they are part of the bridge. So even though things are going great in a relationship and then they break up, and you've been doing everything right, maybe there's a lesson that you need to learn. That's another philosophy I've adopted, because I do learn things in my time apart. Like I become a better manifesting coach, because it's like, what part of me failed here? What were my thoughts? How did I do this? How can I change those thoughts so when I do get this manifestation, again, I'm talking in terms of SP, or going out trying to get, like for me, if you guys know, when you watch the channel, I was trying to get this promotion, and it's like whether one man or a million have to play their part, they play their part. And if you guys remember, it was crazy because I'll tell this story real quick. When I wanted a different shift at work, and I wanted a promotion at work. So to get the promotion, and I wanted to do it at the same building that I was in, somebody had to leave the building to do that. And the guy with the most seniority, I used to joke about it, he was never going to leave, but I kept saying he was going to leave. He leaves, I move up and get promoted, because all the timing worked out perfectly. After I get that promotion, I keep saying, man, it sucks because I'm on the worst shift. I would like to go to the best shift. And I'm like, well, that's never going to happen. But I kept saying, I'm going to get the best shift. I'm going to get the best shift. Unfortunately, my close friend from that job, the only guy I was close to over there, gets a new job. So unfortunately, he does that, but it opens up the spot for me. Then I had negative assumptions towards that boss, and felt he didn't like me because of some arguments and stuff like that. So he decided I'm not getting that promotion, no matter, even though it went against union rules and all this stuff. So he decided it's not happening. He hires his friend instead. And then I stayed in my affirmations. I'm still getting that spot. That's my day shift spot. I want to be the Tuesday through Saturday day shift guy. That's happening. Within 2 weeks, his friend quits. Then I say, can I move up? He says no again, denies me, because I had some fear asking him that too. Then they hire another guy. That guy makes almost his 90-day probation on his 80-something day, right before he was about to get solidified into the job in his union, so it's very hard to fire somebody at that point. He winds up getting fired for all the fuck-ups he was doing. Then I get approved for the spot. But then I started having fears and thinking like, I don't really think, because they don't like me, I'm not going to get it. Hire a new guy. That new guy, they stipulated in his contract that he gets my shift for 1 year before I get to move up. Through all that led me down this path where it's like, okay, I'm angry, I'm upset, they kept lying to me. And I'm like, I guess like it was a point where I was kind of downing manifestation, because I'm like, come on, I'm not even attached to this job, I don't give a fuck about it. Why am I not going to get it? So that aggravated me to the point where I'm like, I'm taking matters into my own hands. I start going on interviews, and I find a job with all the same perks, which I had a lot of rare perks at that other job. All the same perks on the same block as my old job. And it has way less work. Like the other place was going to give me a lot of work. That was one of the stipulations. You can come to day shift if you do all this back-breaking work. I didn't want to do all that back-breaking work. Wound up at a place where it's like all the same perks and benefits, more money actually, right on the same block, and everything else. So it took me having to go through all that eating shit, and like Neville says, no matter one man or a million men have to play their part, you will get your desire. My true desire was less work, and a better shift. And it took me going through that whole process, trusting the process, and then getting fed up and letting my natural like emotions play out, where it's like, you know what, I'm taking it. Like it just felt natural at that point, because I was just tired and burned out to go on interviews. And I started seeing like, oh, you know what, there's no day shift spots anyway. And one job called me, and I almost didn't call them back. They turned out to be a day shift spot. Take it. And then immediately they hired me on the spot right there. I was like, man, that's manifestation, because to truly have my full desire, it could have never happened at that old place, but I had to go through all that stuff and all that hype and learning things to get myself to where I was. So it took the negative stuff, 1 year of it playing out, for me to wind up in this natural place. And now it doesn't even feel like it's been a year. I just feel relaxed, and I've not been this much at peace with my day job in years. So it's actually the first time in this line of work that I actually feel peaceful at, even though there's stressful days there and stuff. But it's still, I mean, look, that was a year-long process, but in the end, you look back, it feels like it happened like that, because time isn't real. But we'll get into that another time. My SP looks a little like SP. Your SP looks a little, oh, like ink? Your SP looks like ink? I've been seeing SP's name everywhere now. Like a crazy amount of dreams, her car type, and people that look like her. I've also noticed butterflies around me a lot. Take them all as a sign, brother. Like, that's what I always did. It was like, whatever you decide is a sign, is a sign. That's it. Like, it might sound stupid and crazy and shit like that, but I would take everything as a sign. Like you guys know my stance on angel numbers. I think they're cool and shit like that, but at the same time, whenever I see them, I go to my end scene and kiss my SP as she says I love you. Or I go to, or if it says opportunity, I just affirm. It's like, man, yep, it's a sign, it's on its way. So I take every little thing that I think is nice, mystical, magical, and make it a sign. So everything is a sign. So always you're reminded that everything's working out in your favor. That's one of my, I don't know if anyone else did. Look at that long hair. That dog hair. That's one of my methods. Getting winded. I love the angles in the car. Get to see my double chin and feel like Steven Seagal over here. I've been getting a lot of his stuff on my For You page, and I don't even watch him. We'll hang out for about 5 more minutes, and then we'll start wrapping up. So any last questions, comments, concerns, video ideas, throw them in. I've been horrible at making videos lately. It's just I've got a lot going on, and I'm, like I said, the point of this video was know exactly what you want. And it's like part of me knows what I want, and then it's like I'm not driving myself towards that ambition, or I'm not currently manifesting any of that stuff. So it's like knowing exactly what you want. A lot of times I will make videos about what I'm going through, and I find that it resonates with a lot of people who follow the channel. So I feel this is very important, because a lot of clients I've had recently do not know exactly what they want to manifest. So be specific. parts of my life I don't know what I want still, and I feel a little bit lost, and it's okay to feel lost. I beat myself up a lot of times and I'm hard on myself that I don't know what I want. I feel confused. It's okay to feel confused. It's okay to feel like you don't know what you want. As long as you're working towards something and you're feeling good or doing your best to feel good, and just keep thinking. Think about what you really want in life. If it's SP, cool, but there's also a lot more to SP. That's something I learned. That's why personally, even with a chance to be with SP again right now, I've kind of left it where it's like, okay, friends with benefits, friend zone type thing where we're still, it's weird because it's like almost like a couple thing. Like we'll be here for each other, but at the same time, it's not a relationship because at the same time, for me personally, you don't have to do what I'm doing, but for me personally, I think it's something where I need to figure myself out more. And like I even told you guys the other day, I felt happy for the first time where I was single and not with her for a long time. And I was kind of like going out, examining the field, playing it a little bit, and like enjoying whatever's out there. But then also, I didn't really truly find happiness in that either. So it's like, okay, well, where is their happiness? Okay, being alone, working on this channel, visualizing stuff for myself. And it's like, I think in the long run, yes, I would still like to be with SP in the long run, but right now, personally, I don't think it's good for me still. And so I'm content with everything else. I want to be full and whole before I go back. And it's not a rule for anybody else. This is something in my life that I want. That's why I'm saying be specific about what you want. And maybe it's not the right choice either. But the fact that you can't fuck anything up and there's no time limit and there's no circumstances that could block you allows you, when you're believing that stuff, it allows you to be able to step back. I'll try a little bit of this. How about this? Different SPs, new jobs, focused all on my goals and not going out at all, hanging out with friends more. Like it just kind of experiencing everything. We have one life. We don't know how long we're here. There's a timer that none of us can see. So have as much fun as you can. And I'm not saying like go out and whore around and shit like that. I'm saying go out and experience goals and things that you want to do in life and experience life. And it doesn't just mean women or getting women or girls getting men. It's like I realize that there's so much more to sex and hooking up and like getting laid and all that stuff. That's like this much of life. There's so many other things to do. Travel, see the world, enjoy yourself. Like go after your goals. That's personally like where I am at this point. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. And that's why I just wanted to make that little topic and talk to you guys about knowing exactly what you want. And I hope this helped you guys. If you have anything to say, let me know. We're wrapping up though. And as always, I do love you guys. I believe in you guys. There's nothing that can stop you. You can't fuck this up. Know exactly what you want. Hold on, I think we got something. Whenever I think about SP. Yep, live life. Exactly, brother. Yeah, we gotta live life and enjoy it while we can. It's always straight to the end. There you go. Perfect. That's what you want. Going straight to the end. Not trying to manifest. We're not manifesting or trying to manifest. We are having. We are living in the end. I think that's a pretty solid way to conclude it too. You too, brother. Have a great day. And like I said, I'm gonna try. I've been horrible about it, but like I said, I'm figuring out my own life, kind of what I want and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to have more videos for everybody out this week, and from there, we'll make it happen. We'll try to get some videos out. If not, I'll see you guys on Monday. I love you guys, and see you in the next one.